Reba McIntyre is in Raleigh, North Carolina, where she just found out her 4 times great-grandfather, George Brassfield, was a respected land and business owner. But George also owned 10 slaves.
You know, that's such a wild thinking nowadays of owning a person. And I would like to know, did he treat him well? Was he a fair plantation owner? Is there any way I can find that out?
Well, we can't find it out from this particular document. But if you go to the Granville County Courthouse in Oxford, they have additional records on the slaves, and I think you'll be able to find out more there.
Okay. Today, I learned that my 4 times great-grandfather, George Brassfield, was a slave owner. You know, you read it in the history books and you see it in movies and television shows, but to know that your ancestors were slave owners, it does put it in different perspective. I'm heading to the Granville County Courthouse, 40 miles north of here, which holds slave records for the region where George Brassfield lived. I'm hoping to find some kind of documentation that will help me understand my 4 times great-grandfather's role as a slave owner. So I'm meeting with North Carolina historian Harry Watson, who has been looking into this for me.
One of the first places to start will actually be in newspapers. We can look for George right here on the computer.
No kidding.
Masters took out ads in the paper about slaves a lot.
We'll put in Brassfield and George. George Brassfield.
Bingo.
North Carolina.
North Carolina, 1820.
Notice, on the night of the 5th, came a traveling black man and took up for the night in one of my Negro houses. After my having notice of it, I took him under examination, and he called himself Willie Tripp. The matter seemed somewhat suspicious, but in the morning he was gone, and induces me to believe him a runaway slave. Willie Tripp was evidently a runaway slave trying to get to freedom.
Yeah. And George Brassfield tried to stop him.
Did he get away?
We don't know.
Hope he did.
We don't know. Yeah. We have, it turns out, some records about George Brassfield and his slaves that come from different courthouses. This one is from Wake County. It's a bill of sale.
Sold and delivered unto the said George Brassfield, one certain Negro man, known by the name of Davy, about 26 years of age. So he's bought a slave.
Yes, he has.
George Brassfield selling something to Benjamin Hobson, a girl by the name of Rachel, about 20 years of age, with her increase, her baby, a child.
Means all the babies she will ever have.
Sum of $300 silver dollars. $300.
$300.
Now he's a slave trader.
He is.
George is selling Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Now about 3 years old. Selling a 3-year-old kid?
Yeah.
How do you sell a child? Why would you sell a child? You don't have an idea of why? Okay.
There's one more document, which is the record of deeds.
Okay, looks like for the sum of 20 pounds, Virginia money, paid by George Brassfield, one certain Negro girl by the name of Amy, now about 14 months of age. Really? 14-month-old baby. A year, 2 months. Wow. It's pretty sobering.
What it shows is that slavery wasn't this weird thing tucked over in the corner that all the rest of us didn't have anything to do with. It's right in our past. All the white people with ancestors that go back that far. It's something that we have to talk about, and you can't have healing without acknowledgement.
Absolutely. When I found out that my 4 times great-grandfather was trading children, it broke my heart. To be taken away from your parents, from your home, and just there you go, you're at another place. To know that that mama never will see that baby again, or that little boy will never see his mama and daddy again. That broke my heart. That little time machine would sure come in handy to be able to say, George, what was going on? Why'd you do this? I'd love to know. But I found out all I can about George Brassfield. When I started my search, I wanted to know who the first person was in Mama's family to step foot on American soil. To find out, Harry recommended I go to Tappahannock, Virginia, to see a colleague of his, Warren Hofstra. He's been looking into my family's history for me, so I'm meeting him at the Essex County Courthouse. I have found out quite a bit about my 4 times great-grandfather, George Brassfield. And I wanted to know who were the first of my ancestors to come to North America.
The name Brassfield is a very unique name, and that helps us a great deal. We can confirm that your 6th-time great-grandfather was also George Brassfield.
Wow.
We can go that much farther back.
Lots of Georges in there.
Lots of Georges.
Warren has traced my mother's family line back 2 more generations to another George Brassfield. And Warren says he has a land deed from 1721 that can tell me a little bit more about who my 6 times great-grandfather was. That's beautiful. This indenture, made this 16th day of May in the year of our Lord 1721 between Richard Carver and George Brassfield for 1,500 pounds of tobacco. That's a lot of tobacco. What do you get out of all that? 300 acres. It's a good parcel of land.
So with this purchase of land, George Brassfield became a landowner in early Virginia.
Yeah, so early on into the beginning of the United States. So where did he get his money? Was his family wealthy? Did he inherit a lot of money?
He worked for it.
Okay.
I think we have a document to help us understand much better about his origins and how he came to the point where he could acquire enough land to become a substantial member of the community in Essex County. This is a book that records all of the decisions that the Court of Essex County made.
Orders 1695 to 1699, Essex County. Wow, 1600s. That's going back a ways. George Bracefield, servant boy to Mr. Bernard Gaines. Wow. Is adjudged 9 years of age and the same ordered to be reported. So, what do we know why he was working for Mr. Gaines?
He was an indentured servant.
At 9 years old.
Coming up, Reba discovers her ancestors' past